You say things every day that you think are harmless, normal even, but they're quietly telling the world exactly who you are. And more importantly, they're shaping who you're becoming. Here's the thing about language. It's not just communication. It's a window into your operating system, the beliefs you hold, the fears you hide, the excuses you've perfected over time. Most people don't realize this. They think words are just words, but every phrase you repeat is a tiny vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One says, "I'll figure it out." The other says, "I can't do this." Same situation, completely different futures, because one phrase opens doors, the other one locks them. And look, I'm not here to judge. We've all said things that expose our own weaknesses. I know I have. But awareness is the first step to change, and that's what this is about. So let's talk about the phrases that secretly scream weak mindset, and why they matter more than you think. Phrase number 1, "I'm just not good at that." This one's sneaky because it sounds like self-awareness, like you're just being honest about your limitations. But here's what it really is, a ceiling you've built for yourself. When you say, "I'm just not good at that," you're not describing reality, you're creating it. You're telling your brain, "Don't even try to improve here. This is who I am." But think about it. Were you born good at walking? At talking? At reading? No. You learn those things through repetition and failure, and you can learn anything else the same way. The strong mindset version? I haven't mastered that yet. See the difference? One closes the door, the other leaves it open. Phrase number 2, "That's just how I am." This is the ultimate surrender statement. It's like saying, "I've given up on my own evolution." And I get it, change is hard. It's uncomfortable, it requires effort, but when you lock yourself into, "That's just how I am," you're choosing comfort over growth. Here's a truth that might sting a little. You're not a finished product. You're a work in progress, and you will be until the day you die. And that's actually beautiful, because it means you can always become more. The people who say, "That's just how I am," are the same people who look back 5 years later and realize they're exactly the same person, living the same life, facing the same problems. Phrase number 3, "I don't have time." Oh, this one's my favorite, because it's almost never true. Let me be clear, I'm not saying you're not busy. Life is demanding, I know that. But when you say, "I don't have time," what you're really saying is, this isn't a priority. And that's okay. You don't have to make everything a priority, but at least be honest about it. Say, "I'm choosing to focus on other things right now." Because here's what happens when you hide behind, "I don't have time." You give up your agency. You make yourself a victim of your circumstances instead of the architect of your life. Think about the things you've found time for in the past week. Scrolling social media, watching shows, worrying about things you can't control. We all find time for what matters to us. So the question isn't whether you have time, it's whether you're willing to prioritize differently. Phrase number 4, "I'll try." Sounds harmless, right? Maybe even responsible. But listen to how weak it sounds. "I'll try to make it to the gym. I'll try to finish that project. I'll try to change." Yoda was onto something when he said, "Do or do not. There is no try." Because "I'll try" is a pre-built excuse for failure. It's a way of committing without really committing. So when you don't follow through, you can say, "Well, I tried," and feel like that's good enough. But here's the shift. When you say, "I will" or "I won't," you take ownership. You remove the escape hatch and you hold yourself accountable. And that's when real change happens. Now, if you're hearing yourself in some of these phrases, don't panic. That reaction, that discomfort, that's actually a good sign. It means you're starting to see the invisible patterns that have been running your life. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. But here's where it gets interesting. Knowing these weak phrases isn't enough. Because awareness without action is just intellectual entertainment. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to rewire the language that's been holding you back? Because there's a version of you on the other side of this shift, someone who speaks with intention, who chooses their words like they choose their actions, deliberately. And that person, they're living a completely different life. So let's talk about the flip side, the language of a strong mindset. Strong-minded people don't speak in absolutes about their limitations. They speak in possibilities. They say things like, "I'm working on that," or "I'm learning how to do that better." See, it's not about being perfect. It's about being in motion, about being someone who's always evolving. They also take radical ownership of their choices. Instead of "I don't have time," they say "that's not my priority right now." And instead of "I can't," they ask "how can I?" That question, "how can I?" is like a key that unlocks doors, because it shifts you from passive to active, from victim to creator. And here's something powerful. Strong-minded people are comfortable with uncertainty. They don't need to know exactly how things will work out. They trust themselves to figure it out along the way. So instead of "what if it doesn't work?" they ask "what if it does?" They lean into possibility instead of hiding from risk. But the biggest shift? They stop using their words to justify their limitations. They start using their words to build their future. Because every time you speak, you're not just describing your reality, you're programming it. Your brain listens to what you say and starts to believe it. So why not say things that serve you? All right, let's make this practical. Here are 3 things you can do starting today. Action 1. Track your language for 24 hours. Just pay attention. Notice when you say, "I can't," "I don't have time," or "that's just how I am." Don't judge yourself. Just observe. Awareness is the first step. Action 2. Create replacement phrases. For every weak phrase you catch yourself saying, write down a stronger alternative. Keep it simple. "I can't" becomes "I haven't figured out how yet." "I don't have time" becomes "that's not my priority right now." Action 3. Speak your intentions out loud. Instead of thinking about what you want to do, say it out loud, with conviction. "I will work out today. I am learning this skill." There's something powerful about hearing yourself commit. Do these 3 things, and watch how quickly your mindset starts to shift.